This training will be for the attainment of one reality, the death of what I have been deprived most, but also cherish and fantasize at the opportunity of having, but has been neglected of. Women. I will slaughter out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge. Your hopeful friend and murderer. Welcome to our channel. I am Amadi, and here with me is my friend,
The Grin.
This is a place where we don't shy away from gruesome details where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's go.
So my little case is going to start with some definitions, an origin, and some terms frequently used. We're going to talk about incels.
Ooh.
Or rather the self-proclaimed incels. The term incel actually is abbreviated from two words, involuntary celibacy. We're going to talk about the origin right now. After graduating from Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada, a girl by the name Alana posted in a local Usenet news group in May 1997. Alana's Involuntary Celibacy Project. That's the name. She created a forum for people struggling with relationships or forming them, since that is what she was going through. Alana started to get a following. She started to build a little community of like-minded people who are going through the same things. A few months later, in December of 1997, she started a mailing list with those who were going through the involuntary celibacy, just like her. You know, her little community. There's a little mailing list now. She states, hey, I belong to a group, I'm not alone, and by belonging to a group, people can help each other through these, quote, hard times. She shortened the term to Invicel, which is INVCEL, and then later on, she dropped the V to make it easier to say, so now it's Incel. A couple of years later, Alana decided to step away from the website, and then she handed the reins over to someone she didn't even know. Now we're going to move over to 2010. The term incel was then hijacked, kind of, by either Reddit or 4chan users, and then it was connected to rageful people, mainly men who attached or resonated with the word. The new incel ideology is now based on the belief that men are all entitled to sex, and that women's liberation had stopped men from establishing sexual connections with them.
What?
Yeah, so just because women are starting to, work and starting to stand up for themselves and actually have a voice, men think that's what's stopping them from, in a nice word, get laid. Just cocky thinking.
Okay.
So here are some terms that their community use. We have Stacy's. These are attractive women that are at the top of the female hierarchy. These women are considered both to be desired and hated. Another term that they use for the Stacy's are foids, femoids, or roasties, which sounds gross. And they just use these terms to objectify and dehumanize them.
So a bunch of guys just got together and just made up these...
Yes.
Some of y'all got way too much time on your hands.
They're hate-filled, putting mean words on girls.
Roasties.
Isn't it? Doesn't it sound gross? Now we have the men. The men they call chads or alpha males. I know, what was it, last year? On TikTok, they were using a lot of the terms for chads and everything, like those really attractive, what is it, jawline, like strong jawline men and everything. I know that was a term I heard a lot last year.
I haven't heard any of these terms. I live under a rock.
There you go. So these chads or alpha males, they're considered attractive, mainly muscular men that incels considered to be the top of their male hierarchy. And then we have the term beta males. These are the men who are rejected not only because of their social awkwardness, but because they believe they have inherited some genetic disadvantage. Now, with these incels, The ones they consider Chad, they thank and somewhat kind of blame Chads for hoarding all the women, all the attractive women. But yet they also wish to be just like them and to have what they have. And these incels also have this kind of belief in a look-based system where they think that attractive men attract attractive women. You get it, right? You're
Yes, I
hot,
get
I'm
it.
hot, let's get together.
Okay.
That. So, and then we also have this subsection that this community is also a part of, and it's called the manosphere. At its core, this manosphere was mainly a forum, blogs, website. It was a social community. It was a place for men to talk about what's been challenging them and, masculinity and other things men topic related. There was no actual hatred or anything. But in recent years, the manosphere has switched to promoting toxic, extreme, harmful ideologies about women. And it started getting connected more to misogynistic views and anti-feminism. Basically, they believe that women have gained too many rights, too much freedom, and now have this deep hatred for all women, despite them still wanting to be with a woman, to have that connection, to have romance with them, to be
Intimate.
There you go. So now that I've given you a, little basis of my topic, we're going to talk about a guy. Back in May of 2014, he somewhat became a leader to this group. His name was Elliot Rogers. He was 22 years old. He was living in Isla Vista. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Isla Vista.
Isla Vista, California.
Come on, show off your spicy
Isla Vista.
Spanish skills.
And he was a virgin. I'm going to give a quick summary to his story. He grew up with hate and he was semi-spoiled just because he never was able to connect with a girl or women. He was never able to get an actual girlfriend or have his first kiss or hold hands with somebody he actually cared for. Anytime he would be out and about just having some peaceful time to himself, his hatred for girls or couples who are out on a date looking at each other all lovey-dovey grew. He, to him, he's like, why don't they give him the time of day? It's not fair. He deserves women too. His hate was so grand, he decided to write a 141-page manifesto of his incel ideology and hatred towards women.
Jeez. Again, too much time on your hands. Maybe instead of using up all your time to writing this manifesto, maybe do some self-reflection and ask yourself, hey, why can't I get a chick?
He would try. That's when he would go out and about and have, get an ice cream or a smoothie and sit by the coastline or the beach line and just try to have him time, relax. But then he would see couples just having a picnic and being all cutesy
But that's his him time.
What do you mean?
Evaluate what is it? What made your past relationships fail and maybe improve on that?
He would record himself. He would vlog. And I think it was to YouTube. If you've heard of Elliot Rogers, if you've ever seen any of his clips, he's a very cocky man. He's very conceited.
Okay, of course.
Very, very, very conceited because he is just like, I look good. I get expensive
There's no
haircuts.
wrong with me. There's something wrong with you if you're not liking me. Okay.
Yes, that is their mindset.
Buddy,
that's exactly to its core.
That is the main issue right there. That's your issue. Okay.
That's their core. That's what they believe. All in all, Elliot Rogers would end up killing 6 people and injuring 14 others by gunshot and stabbing.
Jeez. What?
This also inspired some similar incel attacks. In 2018, in Toronto, Canada, a man by the name Alex Manassian attacked people while inside his van. He killed 10 people, which later turned out to be 11 because one of the victims ended up dying a year later from the complications from the attack. And he injured, I think I'm wrong, 16 people, or was it 14 people? But before he carried out his attack, he posted on a website, and in quotes, "Recruit Manassian, Infantry 00010, wishing to speak to Sergeant 4chan, please. The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and the Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Roger.
Ooh.
Creepy and cringy at the same time.
Yes. 100%.
So a lot of these hate-filled incels, that sounds weird, but a lot of these hate-filled men, that's what they called Elliot Roger. They called him the supreme gentleman. And that's because in his vlogs or the recordings of himself, he had this like I said, he was cocky. And he would even call himself a gentleman. He's like a supreme gentleman. And that's why he doesn't understand that women are not attracted to him.
Please tell me, did he go up to any female and be like, hello, I'm Elliot Rogers. I'm the supreme gentleman. Because, I mean,
No, he really.
I would 100% understand why these females would just turn the other way and be like, what the fuck, and just not give you the time of day.
No, but that would have been funny because one time he actually, when he was out in his car, I think he was just cruising, he saw these girls on the side of the road just walking. I think they were just leaving from just hanging out. They're attractive girls. They're pretty girls. He's in his car and he, I guess, catcalls them. Is that the term? Just,
Flags them down, like, hey.
He sticks his head on the light, oh, hey, and they ignored him. No, go away, kind of thing.
Yeah, well.
So he threw orange juice at them. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What?
Must I?
And then you ask why they don't give you a chance. What in the world? First of all, if you're sticking your head out of your car while you're driving, you're like, hey, I completely understand that. I'm like, get away from me, creep. Like, no, that's probably not how you should go about it.
And it sucks about his story is just that I'm not really getting fully into his story because there's a lot more to him. But I don't know, he was spoiled. When I say spoiled, he grew up kind of rich.
I was going to say, rich kid?
Yes. Yeah. So he grew up rich and he was able to go to premieres because I think it was his father who had something to do with productions and movies and stuff like that. I forgot. This is not the story about him. But anyways.
Gotcha.
He was a spoiled kid. He had money, but yet.
Had no, I was going to say no social skills, but I mean, no skills with women.
No, there is no social skills.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But anyways, my story is not about him. My story is about a guy named Tres Genko or Tres Genko. It's Tres, but because I don't know if it's Tres or Trey, I'm just going to call him Genko.
Genko, okay.
Genko.
Oh, like the Genko jeans.
What is that?
The big jeans. Okay, I'm distracting you. Y'all can search up Genko jeans later.
Am I old? I don't know what those are. So Genko grew up in Los Gatos, California.
There you go, Mari.
And it was just him and his mother. And his mother was described as agoraphobic, autistic, and she herself was also suffering from some PTSD from child abuse. It was said that he was bullied so much in school that he was then later transferred to being homeschooled. And sometime later, his aunt left his mother an inheritance. And with that inheritance, they moved to Hillsboro, Ohio. But even though he has this inheritance and they moved, that doesn't mean that Genko ended up being any less socially awkward, especially with women. From court documents, here are a few things that he has said. I've always been an incel because I've never had a girlfriend or sex that wasn't paid for. Incel since birth. I keep eye contact until they look away, and then I keep looking. They deserve to feel uncomfortable. This is how you can encroach in their beautiful existence, with a reminder that hideous exists outside their selective bubble. I've never even had the opportunity to reject a single woman. Mark of a true cell.
Ew.
Imagine that. Somebody just staring at you and you get that uncomfortable feeling, so you turn away.
And they're still looking at you? I'm like,
that's creepy.
You want to take a picture? That would be me. Ew.
It's because he knew what he was doing. He knew that it was disturbing the way just staring at somebody.
What a dandruff.
Once he found out about this hating incel community, he ended up having profiles on some of the popular incel incel websites. From July 2019 to mid-March of 2020, he posted more than 450 times on the sites. And on his phones, he had 2 phones, there was more than 3,000 times that he would use the word incel. In one post, he went into detail on how he sprayed, with a water gun, some foids, or couples, and he sprayed them with orange juice.
What is up with these guys in orange juice?
He did this because he compared it to when Elliot Rogers did the same thing, but except he used a water gun.
I just think this is just insane.
But you can think it's insane, yeah, but Genko, to him, this was extremely empowering. To him, it was having that connection with Elliot Rogers, the supreme gentleman.
Oh, then go ask Elliot Rogers on a date. What?
So Genko had this idea because his hatred for women was so great that he was going to enlist in the army. And that is because he wanted to train for mass shooting.
Okay.
He went to basic training for the army, and in August 20th of 2019 in Fort Benning, Georgia. And then a few months later, December 2019, he was kicked out of the army for poor performance and conduct.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So I'm not sure when he wrote this, but he wrote this in quotes. The training will be for the attainment of one's reality, the death of what I have been deprived most, but also cherish and fantasize at the opportunity of having, but has been neglected of, women. He wrote, I will slaughter out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge. And he himself also ended up making his own manifesto. He called it a hideous symphony, a manifesto written by Tres Genko.
Oh my. Okay. Okay, buddy.
He stated that he would slaughter women out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge, and referring to their death as the great equalizer.
Oh, he was like focused specifically for women, like shooting, but killing them.
Yeah,
in general.
because they're messed up for not liking him, not thinking he's attractive, not wanting to be immediately his girlfriend. It's their fault. That's what a lot of these incels have stuck in their head, that it's the girl's fault for not wanting them. Because they can offer so much. And hello, the girls should be coming to me, not me going to them. What the hell? That's their mindset.
I have never heard of this.
No?
I have never heard of this.
Oh, this community is crazy.
That is insane.
Yes, they have some dark thoughts.
But I feel like it's going to get darker in this case, isn't it? Jesus, take the wheel. Let's go.
So the day that he wrote his little manifesto, he also looked up 2 sororities, including one at Ohio State. He, even one time, at least one time that I read, he went to one of the universities to scout and was marking down the times and how busy each part of the campus was, how many people there were, his whole planning thing, which makes it scarier, that he was actually writing all of this down too. Allegedly, when he was on vacation in Greece, this boy had money. On a hotel stationery, he wrote a little note, or he wrote about his plan to target women at Ohio State, but more specifically the sororities, because they contained girls.
Oh, so he was just journaling away while vacationing in Greece.
Yes.
His hatred. Oh.
That's hate.
That's 100% hate.
On March 12th, 2020, in Hillsboro, Ohio, he was living with his mother, and he just started all of a sudden acting erratic, acting crazy, and he went to his room. Afterwards, his mother called the police because when he went to his room, he went with a gun. She told the deputies that she found a note he wrote about harming others. When the police came, they searched his car and his room, and they discovered a firearm with a bump stock attached, several loaded magazines, body armor, and boxes of ammunition. They even found a modified Glock style, I think it was a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with no manufacturing marks or serial numbers. Law enforcement also discovered a note that he wrote talking about the hopes that he could aim big for a huge kill count of 3,000 people with the help of his so-called, military training that he pretty much didn't even have. Genko eventually pleaded guilty to making terroristic threats and was then sentenced to 17 months because, he didn't do anything. They were just threats. And that was, not it. 17 months came and went, and then Genko was a free man.
So after he got his slap in the hand, he was let go.
Yes.
Okay.
And around the 5-month mark, when he was already out, he decided that he wanted to go to school. He ended up enrolling. He started working out, trying to be more social. He had 2 jobs. He didn't want to be that negative person that he was anymore. But that wasn't enough for the FBI because they were combing through his phone records ever since either before he went to jail or since he first went to jail. Because of his little manifesto and his high hopes of a kill count of 3,000 women, and of how much he was writing on these incel forums, when they found out that he had planned for this massacre to be carried out on May 23rd of 2000, May 23rd was the anniversary of when Elliot Rogers did his attack. That was enough. Monahan, who was Genko's attorney, said that at the time of Genko's manifesto writings, he was suffering from being an alcoholic and he was undiagnosed bipolar. But after he got out, serving his time, he was trying to be a changed man. In a 2022 study published in Evolutionary Psychology Science, researchers found 75 of incels were clinically diagnosable with severe or moderate depression, and a 45% of them with severe anxiety. Incels feel like they are suffering with this condition and can only blame others, not themselves, like I was saying earlier. In October of 2022, he pled guilty to 1 account of attempting to commit a hate crime. He was sentenced to 6 years and 8 months in prison, even though he had already been in custody for almost 3 years after his original arrest in July of 2021. This man-child was intending on mass murder. He had intentions. He had so much hatred and blackness in his heart for women and this high thinking of himself that he would deserve to be, he deserves to be given sex. That sounds weird, but that's what it is. That's what drew this hatred for him. This all in all was my little summary of incels and my main story of Tres Genko.
So did they do something?
He got 6 years.
I'm sorry. I was still like.
So I think it was. I think
still
he
in
got
shock.
6 years in prison, and then I think it's afterwards. After he gets out, it's 5 years of supervision. I think it was.
That's insane.
But I think it's because he didn't do anything. It was planning. Maybe that's why it wasn't so much. But
Okay. Yeah. You guys. While Amadi was talking, I was searching up who is this Genko person and who is Elliot Rogers, and now I know who you're talking about.
everybody knows what he looks like.
I know what he looks like. I just didn't know that's who you were talking about. I didn't know about incels nor about like this whole thing. I have no
Really?
clue. No. Elliot Rogers, that was a while ago. So yes, I think I heard it back when it first started or when it first happened. But then like basically my memory's gone to shit is what I'm trying
And
to
then
say.
probably because you didn't also know that he was actually bigger to this incel community.
I didn't know that,
Than you thought. Yeah, everybody considers him like the little leader of the group.
Oh, now we've been more creeped and like grossed out. Yeah, search up who Elliot Rogers is because I forgot his name. I know how he looks like, so
And you know
immediately when I saw a picture of him, it hit me. I'm like, okay, I know who this piece of shit is.
He is a piece of shit. But you know what sucks though is that if you think about, if you know incels, or not know incels, but if you know some of the cases, a lot of them are still young. They're
Yeah.
not old.
Well, I mean,
and they have this mindset.
that dude was young.
Elliot Rogers still looks, in that picture, he's 22.
Yeah.
But, well, actually, a lot of the videos you see are screenshots of him. He's 22, but he looks like a teenager still.
Yeah.
But he's not ugly either. And he already had this, like, maybe that's why. he had this like, I know I'm not ugly, so I don't know why girls aren't attracted to me.
That's what I was going to ask too. That's why I was really curious. I wanted to look at pictures of how these men look like, because in my head, I was like, are these just like, I mean, everybody's attracted to something, but I mean, are these
Yes.
just like quote unquote ugly men? But no. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're atrocious. So yeah, I mean, they are atrocious, but look wise, appearance. Because no, Elliot Page, Elliot Rogers is atrocious. Elliot Rogers is atrocious. I just no, like if we're talking about like looks,
Yes. But again, like I said, this is my little summary of incels. There's way more.
yeah,
There's forums.
I'm gonna go look into this. I'm like, Amadi, my mind is
I can't
like it's
believe you never
open.
heard of like these people
It's been a
or like
minute.
incels or anything like that.
No, well,
I've always known about them and I've always been very curious about them, but
that's insane.
looking more into them, I didn't know how highly they think of themselves, I guess.
For me, it's like, is it like low self esteem?
Oh yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be, but then it's also combined with it's low self-esteem combined with I deserve to get any girl I want. Even though it's weird, that's not low self-esteem, but it also is.
Yeah, that's just you being a creep.
But like I said in that one study in 2022 that, they're depressed, they have anxiety. I don't know. I'm telling you, everybody has issues, I swear.
Yes, everybody has issues.
There's just the ones that are
it's
bad
like
that
it's like
actually act out on it.
yeah, it's like again one of those things where I want answers.
Why do you think you deserve people?
Why? Like, what makes you think that you're so special that somebody needs to come to you and do whatever you say because you're allowed to have anybody you want? But yet, I just, what? I'm enlightened.
You're enlightened. So I'm going to leave this off with this little note. Not all incels are violent, and most of them, they do denounce Elliot Rogers, his actions.
Good.
But then then we have those incels and those other subgroups that encourage violence and violent behaviors. And from what we've heard of so far, these type of people can be very dangerous. Even if it's just talk, it could happen.
Question. Are these people like monitored by the FBI? Like, is this like a group that is like,
I want to say yes. I want to say after 2018, after the Canada attack, or maybe it was with Tres Genko, that they started thinking of these people as like almost like terroristic.
yeah, like
Yeah.
this is a group we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say,
Because they're
this
starting to
is,
notice that these people, well, the ones with hate, they can do some violent things. There's
Yeah.
other cases out there too, like these incel thinking men.
I'm going to go look this up when I go. Y'all know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go home and look into this.
I want to say there was this one case in China or Japan.
Oh, so
It
it's
was on a subway.
spread.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's like a
just
cult.
cool. I want to say it was in Japan, and it was on a subway that this man decided that he was going to. Oh God, what did he do?
The stabbings?
Was it I think it was
Was it the
stabbings that he
stabbings?
wanted to stab.
What?
He wanted to hurt the happy smiling women. I think that's what it was.
I think I've heard of it. How did? Yeah, I guess I never looked into it so deeply to make the connection of incels and all this other stuff.
Yeah, telling you, it's kind of a big community.
What? Mm-hmm. Well, not big enough. I have no idea. But then I'm not
It's
going
one of
around.
those things. I've been saying it a lot the past couple of weeks. It's not part of my world, so I've never heard of that. So this is one of those things for you. It's like, that's not my world, so I've never
I was
heard
going
of
to
it.
say I'm not going around thinking you need to approach me. That's I don't know. That's lunacy. That's crazy.
But with that, I'm going to tell you guys all to be well
Be safe.
and see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.